Welcome to the World of Warships with Captain Yamo. I am your host, Captain Yamo, and this is the Tier 7 battleship, American battleship that is, the Colorado, who is still naked of her camouflage. So hopefully that'll pop into place pretty quick here. So, the first thing I have to ask you out there in YouTube land is when you are slumping, when you're playing horribly, how do you break out of your slump? I was in about a 5-day slump. Oh, we got aircraft carriers. And we got battleship advantage. Okay. I was in about a 5-day slump at the minimum. And just playing horribly. Horribly. I can't even begin to describe how badly I was playing for this past week. Poor tactical decisions, poor strategic decisions, poor shooting, pretty much all of it. I was even using like my repairs and my repair party. What do they call it? The repair party and the damage control parties poorly. And heck, I can't even remember what they're called right now. So that's how bad it's been for me. So I've been trying to put together a video on what I was talking about in the last video when I mentioned rhythm and what I mean by rhythm. So hopefully I can get myself into a situation where I can show you what I mean by rhythm in combat. It's one of those important things, if you study martial arts, especially if you're into any of the, Jeet Kune Do, which is Bruce Lee's fighting style, although I think he would say it's incorrect to call it his fighting style since it's supposed to be based on the individuals. Is she moving? Doesn't seem like she's moving that fast. Give it a shot anyways. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? And that wasn't too far off. And on the horizon, apparently tomorrow, March 23rd, they are going to be updating again, and they are going to be adding the Russian cruisers. So hopefully I'll be able to highlight at least the first couple of them. Let's see what we get out of that. That looks like it's going to go behind her. Yep. So it's like 7.5, 8. That's another thing that's been real off for me. My gunnery just hasn't been there. I'm not sure what I'm doing different or wrong, but it's been there. Ooh, maybe we can get into a little bit of rhythm here with this Fuso. Let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Understanding rhythm is important. Knowing that your enemy has about a 30-second reload time. Knowing you yourself have about a 30-second reload time, especially in battleships. And this goes for cruisers, destroyers, any other ship. There's a way to use, what I'm talking about to your advantage. And so what I mean, we're gonna start talking about a couple of terms. Number one, I'm referring to something that I'm gonna call the firing line. The firing line is anywhere on your broadside where you can train all of your guns on a single ship. And so I was just on my firing line with the Fuso. Now I'm going to start angling towards her to turn my armor. Oh, she turned too, so I missed her. And so now, if she decides to fire at me, my angle is about as efficient as it can possibly be to prevent really high damage. But you see, I'm already reloaded right now. And it's... Oh, she's gone. And it took me about 4 or 5 seconds to get my firing line on her again. So, you understand the idea of a firing line, as I'm referring to it, and the idea of what I'm going to call an angling line, which is what I'm doing right now, if she were still up and kicking. I think I need to start recognizing the situation. I need to turn my guns to port, and I need to come around to starboard. And if you look at this match, we really do, we have the battleship advantage, especially now that we've knocked out one of their Fusos. It looks like we're about to knock out their independence. Heck, I may not even have time to show you everything. That's alright. Things happen that way. So when you're using your ships, I want you to start thinking about it, or suggesting that you think about it, in terms of this firing line and this angling line. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to fire. We'll pretend we're taking aim at this Ognovoy until something else gets into our range. And we would fire at her once we get our firing line, and then we would turn the ship towards her to hit an angling line. And usually you're going to want to get it, not too steeply angled, but pretty well angled. And by the time you hit your angling line, you should have about a 5 to 8 second window when you need to actually start heading out for your firing line again, like I'm doing now. And by dancing those two lines and changing your speed in between, what you'll also be doing is you'll be making it really, really difficult to pinpoint you and hit you. So, with all of the poor playing that I've been doing, I don't have a lot of replays. It's okay with me that they're updating because I don't have anything really saved up except for maybe the video on the Amagi. My first outing in the Amagi. That's even worth watching. Let's see if we can hit her. 16 kilometers is a pretty fair shot, for a destroyer. We're not too far off. But, missing is missing, right? Oh, there's a Fuso. So I think I'm gonna hook to starboard around this little island here and see if we can't start engaging that Fuso. Now, I'm kind of suggesting how you would use the idea of rhythm in a fight. Bruce Lee had many things to say on the subject. He had some ways of understanding combat to make it so that people could really get what he was saying. You have to make it real understandable. So I'm on my firing line, and you can see I'm starting to turn towards the Fuso. And I gotta take this kamikaze into mind here. Okay, you look at all of my settings here. Look, now I'm coming back to 0. And now I'm gonna actually come back right. And I'm gonna slow my speed down. This will make it harder to hit me. And I should be getting there right about, I was there a little early, but you'll see I'm still holding over to starboard. Now I'm starting to go over to port. You're right underneath where it says reloading. Nice hits. And I'm going to change my speed again. This will help me with that kamikaze if she's deciding to take shots at me. She's only 7 kilometers, or well, I think her torps are 7 kilometers, like the Minakaze. And, oh look, see, I'm talking to you. I forgot to keep attention to rhythm. So now I'm like plus 5-6 seconds there to get back to my angle. See that? Oh, she stopped. That's not going to hit. Darn it. Really want to recognize that stuff as soon as possible. Because now here comes her answering fire. And she really didn't do much. But see, here we go. We have our torpedoes running in on us. And because of the torpedoes, I did not want to come back around. Yeah, see, she's almost stopped in the water. And I'm going to change my speed again. And that is the New Mexico slamming me. There's 2 New Mexicos up there. So I gotta keep that in mind. I'm keeping this angle, I'm keeping my broadsides to her right now because I don't want to give the same angles to these guys over here who are kind of ripping me up right now. Ooh, nice job. Okay, so now as I'm starting to open up to Surreyster here, I'm going to try and keep my nose pointed more towards the other New Mexico because I don't need her crap right now. See where it's hitting. Start angling in. Change speeds. Take my lumps. More lumps. More lumps. More lumps. That's okay. Oh, those are good hits. I was hoping for more damage, though. Like that. Now I gotta get my speed moving again. Hopefully this she'll be that Surreyster will be worried about our Ognavoy right there. With those fast torps. Look at those things move. Come on, sink her. Not bad. I can sink her for you. Got her. Okay, we're gonna train our secondaries. Again, you hold control and you click on the target. And there's a Matsuki there, so I gotta be careful. Come on, you're gonna have to turn it soon. There we go. Get what damage we can out of it. And I'm angling for that Matsuki. So now and I got taken down. It'll have to do. You guys kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about. Just slumping play, continuing. Hopefully my team will pull me out of it. But by all means, guys, if you can get a New Mexico and a Fuso in your port, they're fantastic ships to have. Let's watch this kind of exciting style. There go the torps. Wow, she survived it. But not long after it. Yeah, those ships are pretty incredible. So please share with me. What do you think about the idea of an angling line and a firing line? What do you think of the idea of rhythm? I was going to explain to you, since I'm not playing now, it might be easier, that Bruce Lee had a number of ways of referring to ideas in combat. You know, attack by combination, ABC. He would talk about finding your opponent's rhythm, matching their rhythm, and then breaking their rhythm. And so that's kind of what I mean. If you can start going from your firing line to your angling line, so that you're on your angling line when they're reloaded and want to fire, and you're only giving them the opportunity to fire at your firing, like the furthest edge of your firing line, you're still angled a little bit for them. And the more you can do that, I think the more effectively you can play, despite how poorly I've been playing recently. Let's see what we did here. Well, we got 138,000 credits, 3,418 XP. That's going to be a times 1.5 or something like that. I didn't really play that well. I had 22 hits, 1 incapacitation, 1 destroyed, and 1 tickle shot. Got a little tickler in there, yeah. See, we only got 1,000 XP base out of that. I mean, it's better than most of the other players on the other team, but honestly, I'll bet you the Kamikaze and everyone up, if they had been on the winning side, would have had more XP than I did. So I really didn't do well. The slump continues. But what can you do? We had 23 hits. We did 70,000 points of damage. That's pretty good. And this is about 25% shooting, which is a little bit lower than I've been shooting normally, and it's a little bit higher than I've been shooting while slumping. So that's a nice change. We, of course, took tons and tons of damage. We didn't really use the repair party very effectively. Got too close to too many enemy battleships that, frankly, aren't that much less powered than the Colorado. You know, the New Mexico. In a New Mexico and in a Fuso, I'll take on a Colorado. I'm not afraid of a Colorado. I know she can do damage, but I'm not afraid of her. With premium, we got 138,000 credits after paying for repair and resupply. We only came out with 60,000. That's really not a great match. With the ×2 bonus, we got 1,709 XP, and then the premium bonus that gets us all the way up to 3,417. So I'll take it, you know. So please share with me what you think about the ideas, the angling and the firing line and rhythm. What do you think? Is there some other way you look at it? Is there something else that you think would be more effective? Share it with us. Let us know. And once again, our Steiger, if you will, hit me up with an email either at captainyamo@gmail.com or at yamokhan, YAMOKHAN, just like my name, at gmail.com. I'd just like to send you a little thank you note is all. I'd appreciate it, and I'd like to thank everyone for joining me here on the World of Warships, and I hope to see you on the digital high seas.